Hello friends, welcome to the channel. You found the roaming bear, and today we're tinkering. We're tinkering on Paddy today. We got some stuff to knock off the list. It's long overdue, and yeah, let's get into it. So what are we doing? So the last few times I've been off-roading, this front wheel has been making some noise. So we're going to take the front wheel off, make a little inspection. I have an idea of what the suspension noise is. I think it's the top hat bearing on the top of the strut. So we're going to have to pull this front strut out and take that down to my friend's shop. He's got a spring compressor because I have AC springs and they are sketchy. They're super tight in there, and I do not want to do it with like the impact style spring compressors. We're going to throw it on a bench compressor, and it's an easy fix, but we got to get the strut out. It's making a clicking sound from the front. Not too sure what that is, but I'm having an assumption it's something to do with the wheel bearings, so we're going to check that out. And the other thing on the list, I've been really meaning to, every spring, I usually clean everything out under here and kind of under the vehicle, and I give a quick wire brush, try to knock down some of this rust. Canadian roads are brutal. Get a load of that. But yeah, we're going to do that. We're going to undercoat it for winter and get a load of that. We're going to cut out a little bit of this back here. I always am having some issues with the tire rubbing on the front of the wheel arch here. And yeah, so we're just going to take this time. We're going to try to chop this out a little bit. I want to kind of leave this open so I can rinse out my rockers because they're starting to rust and it's hard to clean the inside of there. So I think if I just leave a little bit of this backside open, then I can hose that out nice and get it all flushed out in the winter, because it likes to retain crap in there and that crap likes to make it rust. So we're going to try to alleviate that from happening. And also I'm going to be trimming these flares down a bit more. So I've taken about almost an inch out of the front here. This will be going away. I'm going to be cutting it like right here. This will sit flush against the rocker. And then I'm going to cut this just under this little body line right here that you see. So that'll take out about an inch all the way around here. As you can kind of see, I don't know if you can, but that black is where there used to be paint. But my tires rub this a lot. So I think if I could just get that little bit more clearance out of there. I want to clear this out just a little bit. I'm literally just going to cut the rolled lip out of this fender. So we're going to go up about a, I don't know, 1/8 of an inch, 1/4 of an inch. Trim all the way down, straight across, and then down. And then we'll get that primed up. We're going to give it a nice little coat of paint again. And I got to replace a couple of these magnets. This one's actually still got both of them. But yeah, these magnets need to be redone, I think. But it'd be nice to get another magnet here, so I got 3 on the top and then a bolt on either side. And we'll get this back together, and it's ready for some winter wheeling. I know I was saying I was going to sell this, but with the uncertainty of Terry over here, I just don't want to be left without a camping wheeling rig. So I think the play is to sell the Dodge. We're going to get rid of that here pretty quick. Paddy's going to stay in the fleet as the designated wheeler. Terry will be the new designated daily driver once I get it fixed. And the Versa's still in the back burner, but I'm really hoping to get this to Vernon like next week. So stay tuned for the outcome of that trip. Patrick is still just being Patrick. Nothing wrong with him. The only thing I really got on the agenda for this thing is I need to get the high beam relay kit. As of right now, I got no high beams. I've always wanted to cut out about 1/2 inch of these rear springs, just so this sits just a touch lower. It's a little too high in the back, but we'll get to that at some point. Not dire. And Terry. Oh, Terry. So, in the last video you watched, we worked on Terry. We got Terry running. We put a stereo in Terry. Everything was going good. A couple days later, Terry wouldn't start. Terry still won't start. But I did figure out, if I give her a shot of ether, it fires up. So it's losing its prime.
Might be a fuel leak, although from as much as I can tell when I do my light searching around here, I'm not seeing any diesel leaks. But I'm fearing that the injection pump has finally retired. It seems to be not keeping a seal, but well, they're going to do a couple things. I'm more or less just kind of pissed off at the moment and discouraged with this thing, to be honest. And yeah, it's if it's injection pump, that's an expensive bill, which I don't really have a whole lot of money. So as for now, I think it's just going to sit here on the back burner until I have time to work on it, which shouldn't be too far down the road here. But I want to throw a one-way in the fuel line right before the pump, and then I can tell if it's leaking at the pump or somewhere behind that one-way valve. So I don't really know how else to diagnose a fuel leak that I can't see, but this is one of the ways that I'm thinking about trying to do it. So if you guys have any suggestions, let me know. And until then, Terry's gonna sit right here in the in-between. Brown sugar's still killing it. I'm really hoping that I can maybe get out on a camping trip this summer with this. It is mid-August, and yeah, the summer nights are starting to fade. It's only 8 o'clock and it's getting dark out. Got a beautiful sunset going on right now. Yeah, maybe we'll get this thing out for a camping trip here sometime. Let's continue working on this classic rig. So I think the next thing I want to do, because I kind of want to take that front strut over to Cam's tomorrow, so we're going to pop this wheel off and see if we can pop this strut out in record time. Let's get it. There, we can actually get a pretty good look at my subframe drop right now. So up in here we got a 4-inch spacer at the top of the strut. See there? And we also got some 4-inch spacers here, spacing out the subframe. Eventually that drops all the lower suspension components 4 inches, giving me my lift. So yeah, we just got to get the strut out. Typically it's really easy. Just pull these 2 lower bolts out, pop off your brake line, ABS sensor line. But because I am not factory, I got to get this light off, and then I got to take these upper bolts out, which aren't too bad, but the one at the very back sucks to get. You can see it just in there. I'm gonna start unfastening all this stuff, and yeah. Oh, come on, get out of there. There we go. So we've been upgrading the carport. Got my motivation right here, Matt's off-road. And we got the front diff for Terry. It's a D44 from a 79 F-150. She's crusty as hell, but the price was right, and it's going to get a full rebuild. I've never done this before, so this is going to be a learning experience. So we'll get to learn together. It'll be fun. Alright, let's just get these bolts out the bottom, and then I got 3 on the top, and this is out of here. The mosquitoes are starting to get bad. I hate mosquitoes. There we go. Alright, I got the back bolt out. That's really hard to get. So I just got these 2 left right here. And voila! We got the strut out. Fairly easy. That took me about 35 minutes. I guess we'll take that over to Cam's shop and get that new bearing put in. Also thought I'd show this strut spacer. So this is a strut spacer for the subframe drop, and as you can see, it's got quite the slant to it, and that's to accommodate for the added camber you get when you lift these things. So I don't run any camber bolts or nothing. I'm just, with this top hat, I am running good camber. So yeah, I used to run cam bolts, and I was running into the issue where I'd go off-roading, and then after a hard session, my camber would be like maxed out. And what we actually found out it was happening was just on the road, no matter how tight I got those cam bolts in here, they would just vibrate, and then this would just go to max camber. And then what would also max camber, because my wheel was like out all the way, it was scrubbing and pulling my toe out because I have such aggressive wheels and tires. So ever since I put my factory strut bolts in the bottom. I haven't had any more issues with that. So yeah, just saying. Alright, so we threw a line on here because this orientation of the top hat to the bottom half of the strut does matter. So we got ourselves a line here just so in case this gets twisted around or whatever, that we can fix it. But basically the bearing that is inside there is kaput, and we're going to throw a new one in. Yeah, just quickly here before I go in to get ready for bed, so it is 9 p.m. I just was going to show you what this little bearing looks like. This is probably one of the McPherson strut's biggest fails is this. So it's a plastic ball bearing that fits in between the top hat and the top of your strut. Basically what that allows it to do is just the top hat spins freely from the bottom half, so when you're steering, it just gives it that movement, I guess. But this is a plastic bearing with little steel ball bearings in there, and yeah, they just get screwed. Like after, I don't know, maybe 10,000 kilometers of my driving, I have to replace these. So yeah, this has been screwed since Nismo Fest last year, and yeah, it's been creaking ever since, and I've been just meaning to get to it. So finally, a year later, we're gonna get to it. That's gonna be it for tonight. We'll see you guys tomorrow with some quarter chopping in the back. All right, heading down to Shuswap Interior Diesel. We're gonna get that strut fixed up thanks to Cam. He's got the tools that I need, and I appreciate that about him. Thanks, Cam. All right, I'm always too chicken to film other people or at a different place. I didn't film the process, but basically we just squeezed the spring down and swapped out that bearing. It was indeed screwed. It was so worn out that it was actually rubbing down onto the top hat a little bit, but good thing I'm replacing it now, because any longer and I would have been replacing the whole top hat like I did last time. This is one of the big design flaws of the R50, to be honest. Front suspension, always breaking. I don't even know. Those, if I had to put a guess, I would say those bearings on the top have maybe 15,000 kilometers on the max, which isn't really that much when you think about it. Some people can get 30 to 50,000 kilometers on a set of like front shocks or whatever. So the way she goes with the R50 chassis, and that's exactly why we're going to throw this Dana 44 in the front of one of these two R50s, because I'm sick of fixing these. I know solid axles aren't always the end all. You're still going to have to maintain a solid axle, but at least it won't get pounded out as easy as this stuff. I'm bending lower control arms. I'm bending struts. I've bent and wrecked so many things to do with this lower suspension. The McPherson strut suspension it's for a minivan, let's be honest. So it's not really designed for this kind of abuse. It is very capable. It does ride really nice. The parts are cheap. So 2 of this and 3 of the other, whatever the saying is. I don't know. I'm putting a Dana 44 in mine because I want to wheel hard. But until then, let's get this front strut in here. Before we install the strut, I'm going to take this time to just kind of clean this area a little bit better. It's nice about the strut in here, actually. I can just get this real clean, and then we'd be ready for a nice little undercoat. And I'm going to paint up these calipers a little bit better so they're not showing red, but we're going to just clean this up. I got some family coming in this weekend, so I'm just trying to get as much done as I can and try to get this thing mobile by the weekend. Alright, just had dinner. I'm all fed. And we're back on patty here. Just going to do a little bit of undercoating. I just got this black rubberized stuff. I feel like it just helps seal things up. Try to knock off some of the rust that I see or whatever. Hit it with the wire brush and then just cover it. This is better than nothing. And yeah, we're just going to coat some of this up around the back of where the strut would sit. Then we'll get the strut in and then I'll coat the rest. Let's get it on. All right, with a little bit of finessing, we got the strut in. It's really not too hard to do. Just make sure you push down on your control arm here. Get the top bolt ins, usually what I do, so it hangs there. Push down on the control arm and you can just swing it right into place. one of the upsides to McPherson struts. They're super easy to work on. So I'm just going to put these lower bolts back in, and like always, I just put just a little nice dabble of anti-seize on here. There you go. Not a hammer. Still not a hammer. And there we go. That's all buttoned up. We'll get all these bolts in and tight. Yeah, throw some more paint on her. And voila, we got the wheel on. This is all put back together, and I got it all nice and clean in here. It's kind of hard to tell. Let's get some light on this. As you can see, Alyssa's there, just hanging out with me. We love that. And we got a nice little fresh coat of some undercoat just on the inside of the wheel wells here. Should hopefully protect me from a bit of salt. Now to do the rears. Alright, we got no time like the present, but to say goodbye to this little piece of metal here. I already made a bit of a cut. I'm gonna zippy disc down a bit and then finish it with a Sawzall. Nice and straight. And then clean this edge up with a flapper disc. And then we'll see what I do with the rest of it. Either weld it or just leave it open. Like I said, I kind of want to be able to clean out the rocker. This will probably be the last thing I do tonight. Alright, so not quite ideal. I wish this was a little tighter here. But the line from out here is what I wanted. I'm just going to kind of smooth that corner out a little bit, even this out a little bit. I think it'll look alright. And then also, look how much stuff is in there. Like, no wonder there's rust. I think it will be nice to be able to clean that out and keep that clean. Yeah, I definitely got to get some of that rust converter in there. And then I might maybe try to like cut that a little bit straighter from like right here. And then Ethan's bringing his welder over, so I'll just tack this together here. And then I'll probably just put a little chunk of metal in there or something. Or maybe I can like push this in and just tack it to that inner door seam. That might also work. It's not a show car, so it doesn't really matter that much, but it'd be nice to do something a little bit better there. But happy with the results so far. Alright, that's enough for one night. Don't want to forget my sunglasses out here. We'll be back on this another day. But I think we made pretty good progress. Just got one more side to chop, and then undercoat, and then seal up those rear quarters a little bit. And then we're good to send it. Alright, welcome back. So we're here with another day of tinkering. And yeah, we're just going to pick up where we left off. I'm just trying to clean up this wheel well a little bit more. I'm not exactly happy with this line. I'm going to try to just shave this down just a little bit right in here because it's just looking a little flat. I kind of want it to have just a little tiny bit of a contour there. But yeah, other than that, we got this all undercoated last night. I would like to try to get the other side cut and matching, and then I need to get this out of here because Ethan needs to use my carport this weekend, so it'd be nice to get this kind of buttoned up halfway, and we'll deal with finishing it later. It's not much for me to just pull this in and pop the back tires off quick, and then, yeah. But, so, yeah, stay on track. Squirrel! I'm going to cut the other side, but we're going to trim this and just make this a little bit better here, and then we'll go cut the other side and get that coated, and then I can put the tires on and get her out of here. Looking good. Alright, and just like that, a little movie magic, and we got this all shaped up. I don't think this looks horrible. Cut out. We got the flare trimmed. Yeah, I'm happy with that. This is all painted. We're going to throw this back tire on, and then we'll move to the other side. What?
What's that guy doing?
What's this?
Oh, no.
We got ourselves a little helper today. All right, now to the other side. All right, and before everybody starts saying, "Oh, I can't believe you cut up a perfectly good R50 or quarter panel or whatever," like, this is not good. Like, it's rusty. This is rust. This has been here since I've owned it. Hasn't really gotten too much worse. It's always kind of been like this. But that's why I'm motivated to get rid of this sheet metal. I don't need anything here. This up here, I don't know what I'm going to do with it yet. It's pretty mangled from my tires hitting it and like bending it, but I'm thinking I can just like get some vice grips and squeeze that together and just do some pinch welds just all along here, and I'll just weld all that and then coat it. But first I want to get some rust deactivator and throw it in here. See if we can stop it. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, and this too, right? Exhaust is also falling off. Here's the hanger, which used to be like this. The tip fell off. Now this was the only thing holding it on. Now there's nothing there. So I'm also gonna have to try to figure that out. But that's not too big of a deal. I'll probably just like weld this hanger like on here or something. Figure that out and call it a day. It's covered by a flare anyway, right? But yeah, keep on grinding on this. I still can't believe how much mud and crap is in here. Look at this. It is packed full. I probably still got some Kootenai mud in there. Getting there. All right, I lost my selfie stick, but we're trucking through. And as one does, I found some silver spray paint in the shed. So we are gonna throw some silver paint to cover up this black stuff.
Well, as you can see, the Grand Canyon here and the Colorado River gets a lot more boat traffic. So you're gonna see it's a little different than a lot of my trips because you're gonna see other boats, or oftentimes I'll go out
Cheers.
3-4 weeks, maybe see no people, maybe see one.
Let's get some silver on this old girl. Just some light coats. I'm no professional, but that looks pretty good to me. Sheesh. I'm a body man. Alright, so we're doing some figuring here. I figure that's about good enough for me. So yeah, we just got to do that trim that I did on the other one. And then paint that silver, and then we're good to go. I do all my fine lining with the Olfa. Looks like a charm. Alright, excuse the lighting. It's getting dark out, but we got everything touched up. We got some silver paint on the arches. We got everything undercoated. This is just open for now. I'll make sure I keep it clean. And I do think at some point here I want to shave this down a bit and then try to just spot weld the seam. But other than that, that's about as far as I'll ever take this. But I need to get some rust killer, and we're going to spray it up in there, and then we're going to do that some other time. But for now, I just need it roadworthy, and it looks better than it did before, so we're good. So yeah, we're just gonna throw the flare on here. I got a bolt there and a bolt there, and then magnets across the top of the flare, and then basically that just slides right on here. I don't think I can do it with one hand, but the magnets will do the work for me. Perfect. Still firm believer that magnets are the sweetest because they hit the tire, they just do that. So when my tire goes up into it, it goes like that, and then it goes right back to where it's supposed to go. Patent pending, the Rolling Bear. and so on and so forth.
You can never afford that $75 again.
Torque your lug nuts, everybody.
Hello, my friend.
All right, back to another day in the life of the roaming bear. Today's the day I've been anticipating and I'm very nervous about, but the Versa, Little Bean, it's time to go to the dealership. We're going to pick up a trailer right now that I rented, and we're going to tow the Versa with the Pathfinder to Vernon Nissan, and fingers crossed, the thing starts. I've been nervous, but apparently there's a thing where the ECM, if it gets stuck into anti-theft mode and you try to start it too many times, it'll like break the ECM. So they're not guaranteeing that they can even do it. So I don't know how many times I tried to start it, but I definitely tried to start it a couple times. I would say less than 20 times, but yeah. I'm nervous about it, but it's gotta be done, so let's get it done. All right, target acquired. We got the trailer. I just got to get a 7-way to 4-way adapter. I didn't take into consideration about Patrick just has a 4-way, and this trailer's got 7-way. So I'm just at Lordco here, and we're gonna go see if they got one. All right, looking for the adapter was unsuccessful. Lordco does not have one, and Canadian Tire doesn't have one. If I look on their website, so we might just have to risk it for the biscuit and go with no trailer lights. At least Patrick sits up pretty high, so you should be able to see the lights on the truck from behind at least, but definitely not ideal. But what am I gonna do? Already got the trailer, I have this all lined up. That's the way she goes sometimes. But yeah, we're gonna load up this Versa and get it to Vernon. Let's go. Alright, in classic Kyle fashion, I forgot to hit record on this camera and I didn't capture the loading process, but it went smooth as eggs. We got her on easy peasy, just backed it out onto the road here and just pushed it down the alley and right up onto the trailer. So we're just gonna get this all strapped up and then we're on our way to Vernon's Nissan. And fingers crossed, everybody, that this thing will start by this afternoon if they get to it today. Oh, I hope so. Crisscross applesauce, we got her strapped up.
Make sure I'm not gonna fuck up the brake lines. Guess you might be able to get.
Alright, Little Bean, hopefully they can fix you. You're in Nissan's hands now. And we gotta take the trailer home now. They won't get to it till Monday, so I won't have any answers for a couple of days. Alright, we got the full load in the car, we got the trailer, the Versa is dropped off, and that's going to be the end of the tinkering for today.
Eyes on the road.
Yeah, right, eyes on the road. And we'll see you guys tomorrow for some more tinkering on Patty. Well, hello there. It's a new day. I don't really remember where we left off last time. I know we were touching up some stuff on Patty, took the Versa out to Vernon, and yeah, family's gone, so we can get back to some scheduled maintenance here. The next thing I want to do to Patty once we get this done is I really am keen to drill my 15s and put a rubber, just a standard valve stem on them, and then I can check the air and pump them up at the same time without having to like pull the air line on and off every time. Yeah, I don't know, I'm getting older and I like to do things the easy way, we'll say. You know, smarter, not harder. My knees don't like bending down, so I think I'm gonna do myself a favor and do that, but that'll probably be in the next episode. Yeah, just because we're gonna be full. And yeah, I got some more good news. Vernon Nissan just called me and they said they got the Versa running, so that's sick. They said it does have a misfire and it's running a little rough, but that's something we can sort out. And yeah, so I think we're gonna go there tomorrow and go pick it up. And yeah, we'll bring you guys along and hopefully it makes it back to Seminar. And then we can get that thing figured out and start, you know, tinkering on that thing too. Until then, we're gonna jack this up And let's get some paint under there. Oh, and I had one more thing to show you. So yeah, basically, I don't know what I've hit here, but I hit something that has bent my skid plate up. And if you look in here, I think the bolt either broke off or it rattled out, and it looks like both of the front, yep, she gone. So I've lost both front bolts on my skid plate, and it's loose. So we're gonna throw some bolts in there, get that tightened back up, and then we're gonna paint all this. This really stiffens up the chassis in the front, having this all tight too. So because I actually bent this, I bent the middle up and pushed the edge down, so I can't get the bolt in. But I don't know if I forgot to put the bolts in or if they fell out. I'm sure they fell out. I don't usually forget bolts, right? Right, Cam? All right, so as you can see, it's Patty's really clean. Like there is no rust under here. See like a little bit of surface rust right there. Everything else looks really good. A little bit of surface rust on the bolts and the suspension and stuff here, but all in all, honestly, for a unibody Pathfinder with 300 and almost 40,000 kilometers on it, she's looking pretty good under here. Here's the brutal reality of a R50 owner. No matter what you do, it's literally impossible to keep a frickin' boot in one of these things. And looks like this one's about to fail too. I'm sure we can push these through the winter. But yeah, I also have an axle seal that's cooked in here, which is not ideal. I don't know if they're serviceable on this front end. I think you have to replace the whole like stub. I'm not sure. I thought I was reading that you can maybe get the seal in and out from the inside, but also with that, like it's barely leaking. It's like it's not even puddling. It's literally just like dusty oil. It's just sweating out. So check the fluids. They're good. I'm gonna run it. Like I said, it's got 340,000 kilometers. It's not gonna be perfect. It's not failing, so why fix it? Enough of the rant. I need to clean some of this dirt out of here, and then we're gonna give this a quick little wire brush. Try to knock some of this loose stuff off. So you might be telling yourself, oh no, Kyle, you're going to get overspray everywhere. Oh, look at that. Oopsie daisy, I got overspray on my bumper. A little shot of the good stuff here, some brake cleaner. Got a little wet there. Oh no, whatever will we do? She gone. Look at that, look at that, look at that, look at that. This part about having a bush rig, because who gives a shit? Boom, can't even tell I did anything here, other than made it look fresh AF under here. It's looking good. Let's go. I think let's put the tire on now, and we're done. Oh, big tire struggles.
Leftovers. I did take out pork because I wasn't sure. I just grabbed something when I was in my tangent and doing chores this morning.
Okay.
Everything.
Clean up all this rock damage. Just give it a bit of coverage. Protect the steel. And cover up some of this rust while we're at it, because it is getting bad.
I hate rust.
Okay, I'm sure some of you guys are going to be pissed off at my fine auto body skills. But you know what? I don't really care. Looks better than it did. Look at that. You can't even tell I was in there. Beautiful. Alright, that's going to wrap up the Paddy the Baddy refresh. We got everything done that I wanted to do. And it's back on the ground. So, time to enjoy. And on to the next Tinker video, I guess. If you guys like what you are seeing, make sure you like and subscribe. I'm trying to be somewhat frequent with my videos. I don't get a whole lot of views, but I figure consistency is key. I'm just going to keep on doing this thing, so let's tinker. Yeah. Next episode, we're going to throw some dual valve stems in the 15s and go get the Versa and whatever else we get up to. We'll see you guys then. And remember, go touch water. It feels nice.